Yo, yo, YouTube. We're back. UFC 307. First off, I just want to thank y'all that tap in, watch these videos, listen to them. I really appreciate it. We're just starting off here, so you guys are the day ones for me. I appreciate any support. It's been a lot of positive lately. Been getting some comments on the post. I really appreciate it. I'm enjoying doing this still a lot. Only the beginning, so appreciate that. But let's get into this main event. Alex Pereira, Khalil Rountree. Alex is a 5-1 favorite because he's the champion. He's fought way better competition. His last few fights were against the UFC's cream of the crop. And you can't say the same for Khalil Rountree. For him to get this title shot really fell out of the sky. His last fight was against Anthony Smith. 20 losses on his career. Before that, Rountree beat up Chris Dawkins, who is out of the promotion. All respect to those guys, but Khalil Rountree is very undeserving of this fight. He's on a good run, though. Very undeserving of competition. He's taking a big leap. He was fighting unranked guys at light heavyweight, and now he's taking on the champion. It is due to the light heavyweights just being all booked up. There's a couple other fights booked there. Alex already beat a couple of the top guys that deserve a shot, like Jamal Hill and Ihor. But in this one, I'm going Alex Pereira. Round 1 or 2 knockout. I'm thinking round 1, though. Khalil Rountree, like I said, the competition hasn't been there. He hasn't seen anyone like this in a while. He's really easy to hit as well. He stays in the Muay Thai stance, which is no head movement. He kind of just keeps his guard high, raises the leg to avoid some leg kicks, and he's there to be hit. Same thing for Alex, though. His defense isn't the best, but it's definitely better. It's more boxing style. He's got some movement, some footwork, head movement. So definitely think Alex clips him early in this fight. Rountree, he's been known for the mental awareness and stuff. He's really not right in the head. I can't believe he's even taking this fight. He's probably going to lose sleep thinking about fighting a guy like Alex, but all respect to Khalil Rountree. He's still a really good fighter. In the next one, we have Raquel, Pennington, and Julianna Pena. Pennington is going for her first title defense in this fight. I do think she wins this fight. She's my pick for this fight. Julianna Pena, on the other hand, she's been taken down in all but one of her UFC fights, which was her debut like 10 years ago against someone who was 1-5. But Julianna Pena gets taken down every time. Doesn't matter who she fights. It was Nunes, Sarah McMahon, so many different people. The thing is that Rocky Pennington doesn't go for too many takedowns because she is usually winning the fight on the feet. This fight's going to be tough on the feet, I think, for her. I think she might resort to the grappling. It's going to be a lot easier than some of her past opponents. Maybe she hasn't went for a lot of takedowns in the past fights because she knew those opponents were harder to take down. Styles make matchups. Pennington does have a takedown or two in most of her fights, which is very good to see. I do think she edges this one out. Unanimous decision. Raquel Pennington. Not spend too much time on that. But I'm really excited for this one right here. The Jose Aldo versus Mario Bautista. This is a similar fight that Jose just fought. Up-and-comer on a big run. I think Jose stops this kid. I don't think the kid goes the whole 3 rounds, actually. I think Jose is going to kick the legs, tune him up to the body, go upstairs. Jose's last loss is to the champion. Other than that, he is 4-1 in his last 5, with his only loss being to the champion. And he did really well in his last fight against Jonathan Martinez. He beat him up every single round. I believe it was a 5-round main event. And Jose won every round. He looked amazing. I think he needed some time off. He took a little retirement, but he came back for that one. For Bautista, he's on a great run right now. Not against super high competition, though. And not against strikers. His last win was over Ricky Simone, primary wrestler. They also knew each other. They have trained a little bit. He did beat Ricky Simone pretty good. But in this one, I'm leaning Jose Aldo to outstrike him, avoid all takedowns. I don't believe he'll get taken down once by Bautista. He will definitely not get outstruck. Jose wasn't even taken down by Merab. Merab went for 16 takedowns in that fight. Merab won that fight off of cage control time. He was clinching him against the fence the whole fight, barely working. But I love Jose Aldo in this fight. Can't believe he's an underdog. Let's go, Brazil, my brother. For the next fight, Ketlen Vieira and Kayla Harrison. Kayla Harrison is an absurd favorite in this fight. For good cause, maybe, but she only has one UFC fight, and it's over Holly Holm, who is dried up. She's been for years. Holly Holm is known for smoking cigarettes, walking into fights. Like, Holly Holm goes in for the paycheck, man. The win over Holm does nothing for me. Other than that, Kayla Harrison has been a hype machine her whole career in PFL. She has finishes, good ground and pound. For Ketlen Vieira, she's been doing alright lately. Her last fight's a win, decision. She's really high takedown defense, which surprises me here, because I think Kayla Harrison needs takedowns to win this fight. If she doesn't get takedowns, I don't know how her striking's going to look. We haven't really seen too much of it, besides in the PFL, and you can't go by that anymore. Competition's way farther apart. High takedown defense for Vieira. Harrison needs to take down. We'll see. I'll go underdog here. I'll take Ketlen Vieira. I don't love it, but I don't think she should be an 8-1 underdog. This is a real good one right here. Roman Dolidze and Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland's a small favorite, -170, and he's been doing good lately. His last win was over Michael Olajaychuk, first round submission. He did lose before that to Michael Venom Page and Jack Della Maddalena, but they are like top 5, top 10 welterweights in the world. And for Dolidze, he hasn't been doing super great. I mean, his last win was over Anthony Smith, who has 20 losses on his career. Before that, he lost to Nasruddin Imavov and Marvin Vettori. This is a weird fight. Kevin Holland fighting at 185, I'm not in love with. He's never really done super good there. Most of his wins come at 170. He's taking this fight on not the shortest notice. It's just a shorter camp. I don't like Holland going up to 185. I really don't. I think he's a little too small. Dolidze, good grappling, but not the best takedowns. Going against a really skinny guy here in Holland. Every time I pick against Kevin Holland, I lose. But I'm going for it. Roman Dolidze is the pick. +140. I don't like Holland going up to 85. He's too small. Dolidze is a really big 85er too. I think he gets these takedowns kind of easy. Probably 3-round decision for Dolidze. The next fight we have Stephen Thompson versus Joaquin Buckley. Joaquin Buckley is a -200 favorite here. He's one of my favorite fighters just to watch in general. All of his fights are exciting. We're not going to lean by seeing this pick. We're going to explain good reasoning, though. Wonder Boy is 41 years old. Joaquin Buckley is 30. There is a stat that's been going around for a couple years now. 9 or 10 year age gap is like a 70% advantage for the younger fighter. And Quinn Buckley's been looking really good. He was a underdog in his last fight against Nursultan Rozibaev. Impressive win there. He had that guy hurt the whole fight. For Stephen Thompson, I believe he lost his last fight. Yeah. Shavkat Rakhmonov, which isn't a horrible loss. That guy's going to be fighting for the title soon. He beat Kevin Holland before that. Lost to the champion, Bilal Muhammad. The last striker to beat Wonderboy was Anthony Pettis. He knocked him out, and Darren Till beat him in a striking match before then. But Joaquin Buckley's coming into his own. I think he's going to realize what he has to do here. He's not going to do what Kevin Holland did. Kevin Holland versus Wonderboy. Holland played the game. He kept the range because he was long. With Buckley, he's not going to play that game. He is a shorter guy, shorter reach. He knows he's going to have to get in there the whole fight. He's not going to stay at range. I think he's going to work the grappling. I'm not saying he gets takedowns, but he pushes him against the cage, makes it dirty, rips the body, goes upstairs. I really like Joaquin Buckley in this fight, minus 200. Way younger, faster, more athletic. He could even get a takedown or two. That'll really get him the win. But there's no bias behind that pick. I really believe it's just a mismatch for Wonderboy, and could be his last fight. He's running the gym now. He's being a really good coach. Respect to him. This next one, we have Yasmin Lucindo versus Marina Rodriguez. And this one, I'm going Lucindo here to get the possible knockout or submission over Marina Rodriguez. I believe that Lucindo had a really good performance in her last fight against Caroline Kowalkiewicz. And for Rodriguez, she hasn't been so consistent lately. She's been losing. She just lost to Andrade, which I don't like at all. Yasmin is 22 years old. Marina Rodriguez is 37. That's no bueno. I really like Yasmin here to get the win. Whether it's by finish or decision, she's a minus 175 favorite. And by good cause, I think that's a low line. I think she should be like a 3 or 4 to 1 favorite here. I really like Yasmin. But if you're still in this video, a little comment, like, subscribe, share with a friend, anything. If not, no biggie. I feel you. But in this next one, I really like. This is it's one of the earliest fights on the card. Cesar Almeida and Ihor Potieria. I really like both these guys. Cesar Almeida is primarily, 100% kickboxer. He's 1-1 in the UFC, plus a Contender Series win. And for Ihor Potieria, he doesn't have the best UFC record. I think he has 2 wins in the UFC, 3 or 4 losses, all by finish. But he's so exciting. Every time he fights, I tune in. He gets dropped. He drops people. He doesn't care. He's in there to brawl. And unfortunately, he's going to fall into the Cesar Almeida game here. Cesar Almeida's too clean. I think he knocks him out in the first round. If it goes to the second, I'll be really surprised. But that'll only be if Potieria does get a takedown. He has gotten takedowns in a couple fights. He's a really good overall fighter. He just fights exciting and reckless. I like Cesar Almeida here, though. He's a big favorite. Minus 400 over Potieria, who is a super exciting fighter. Hopefully the UFC doesn't cut him if he loses here, because I really do enjoy his fights. Next, we have Austin Hubbard versus Alex Hernandez. In this one, I'm leaning Austin Hubbard to get the job done. I believe he's a little more consistent than Alex Hernandez. He's 4-1 in his last 5 fights. Not all of them are in the UFC. So, for Alex Hernandez, though, he's 1-4 in his last 5. Super inconsistent. He jumps back from 145 to 155. He doesn't know what he wants to do with himself. His last win is over Jim Miller, who's a little aged of a fighter. All respect to Jim Miller. He's actually one of my favorite fighters because he beats all the newcomers. He's like ultimate gatekeeper, Jim Miller. Really high respect for Jim Miller, actually. He might have the most UFC submissions, or it might be Gerald Mearschart, but they're neck and neck. I really like Jim Miller. Respect. In this one, though, I believe Austin Hubbard is just more consistent. Neither of these guys are great at anything. I think Austin Hubbard is a little better in the grappling, though. I think he's going to get him down a couple times. Hernandez is probably the more powerful guy. He might even try to initiate the grappling, but that's what I mean with Hernandez. You just don't know what you're getting. He's super inconsistent. I can't bet on that or even pick that. Austin Hubbard is my play there. Down to the first 3 fights of the night, but I start at the top of the card to keep it exciting. Ryan Spann versus Ovince St. Preux. And this one, I'm taking Ryan Spann. He's a minus 360 favorite. 33 years old versus 41 for Ovince St. Preux, who's a legend, but he's been on a bad run. He's 2-3 in his last 5, and all the losses come by knockout. Ryan Spann's a finisher. He's not on a great run either. He lost his last 3. 2 of them were by finish. 1 was a split decision, so. But for Spann, he's the younger guy. Ovince St. Preux hasn't looked great in years. Their reach is about the same. Ryan Spann, they're saying he's a taller fighter. I find that hard to believe, but I'm leaning Ryan Spann in this fight. Both these guys are very inconsistent. There's not a lot of confidence behind that pick, especially at minus 360. If Ovince St. Preux wins, I love it for the sport. Carla Esparza versus Tecia Pennington. Ultimately, in this one, I'm taking Tecia Pennington to get the decision win over Esparza. Tecia Pennington lost her last 2 fights against Tabitha Ricci and Mackenzie Dern, but they are some of the most elite women in the UFC. Especially Tabitha Ricci. She just had a really good fight against Angela Hill. And for Esparza, this is about to be 22 months since her last fight. She's been very inactive, and she's had surgeries I've seen online. I don't like that at 36 years old. I don't see how you're getting much better. Wade Lee finished her in her last fight. But I'm going with activity here. Younger fighter, healthier fighter. Not younger by much, but more active. Tecia Pennington to get the win. And in one of the most exciting fights of the night here, actually, I believe, the curtain jerker of the night, first fight on the card, Tim Means versus Court Mcgee. And this is my lock. Tim Means, Dirty Bird Means, to get the job done via knockout over Court Mcgee. Tim Means is 1-4 in his last 5, but he's been fighting a lot of younger guys. For Court Mcgee, he's 2-3 in his last 5 on a 3-fight skid, but he's lost to not the best UFC fighters. Alex Morano, Matt Brown, UFC legend, respect. Jeremiah Wells, good fighter, I believe, from Philly, so a little biased there for Jeremiah. But Court Mcgee's last win was in 2022 against Ramiz Brahimaj. I'm not sure if he's even still with the promotion. Court hasn't looked good in years. 22-13. Tim Means 33-16. But watching the fights over the past couple years, Tim Means look like he still has it. I believe it's going to be a striking match. I think Tim gets him here pretty easily. Feeling really high confidence about it. And that's going to conclude the UFC 307 predictions. This card's kind of good. It's not super crazy. I really like the Jose Aldo fight. The main event's kind of weird, though. Alex Pereira should not be fighting Khalil Rountree. The women's co-main event sucks, but they got to do it. Equality is what it is. Kevin Holland, I wish they would have put against a striker. The Kayla Harrison fight's kind of weird too, but if she loses, that would be great. The Joaquin Buckley fight, that's nice that it's not on the pay-per-view. That's semi-early for us, the Eastern Time people. A lot of chick fights on here. These, the Marina Rodriguez fight stinks, I think. Carla Esparza fight's horrible, but it's on the early prelims, so we're not going to complain too bad. Tim Means fight's going to be really fun. The Austin Hubbard fight with Alex Hernandez might be a stinker. But I'm still semi-excited for this card. I'm going to drop a few more shorts during the week. Comment, like, subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Until next time.